So in this video, we're going to be doing a quick trade recap of the trades that I took on Friday, March 18th. I took 3 in the first 40 minutes of the open, trading Tesla and GME, and I made $1,201. So now let's get into the newsletter watch list and my game plan coming in today. I was watching Tesla, BABA, AMD, and GME. And then as far as the mental notes, I said if SPY and the Qs and stocks can't go green and hold up, could likely pull back a bit because of the big 3-day move already. Regardless, price action and technicals will always tell the story, and it was Friday, so no need to push it. And like I've mentioned plenty of times before, this is my private Twitter. This is the game plan, what I am looking at each day, quick overview of the market, SPY and the Qs, all the individual stocks I'm interested in trading that day, all the levels that I think are in play. To the left, this picture is exactly what I post on my private Twitter. I make sure to get a screenshot of the charts, green line to the upside being long, red line to the downside being short, and then I make sure to highlight those levels above. If you're interested in getting access to this, there's going to be a link in the description below. So now let's go over the technicals and the why, starting with the SPY. 3 green days in a row, can go higher, but definitely due for a pullback. If it holds 436 to 437 and clears pre-market high, has room to 440, 442 resistance. If it fails to move higher off the open, then eventually breaks pre-market low, it has room to 433, 430 support. The 9 EMA on the daily is at 429.74. That should act as support. And now the Qs, so 3 green days in a row as well, due for a pullback, it would be healthy. If it holds 341 to 342 and clears pre-market high, has room to 345, 346 resistance. Buyers can't step up off the open, then it breaks pre-market low and stays below. It has room to 338, 335 support. The 9 EMA on the daily was at 334.25. That should act as support. And now Tesla, so 3 green days in a row. It did close above 850 to 860, which was a big area of resistance. Buyers step up and goes red to green and it clears prior day high. Has room to 885, 890 resistance. If it can't hold up off the open and it breaks pre-market low and it stays below, it could pull back. It has room to 850, 840 support. And now Alibaba, so not the cleanest daily, but volume has increased the last couple days. Had an inside day the prior day. If it clears pre-market high with prior day high above, it has room to 104, 106 resistance. If the market is weak and it breaks pre-market low with prior day low below, it has room to 96, 93 support. And now AMD, so it showed a little bit of relative weakness the prior day because it closed red. Also, 110 is major support on the daily. If it clears pre-market high, it has room to 112, 114 resistance. If it breaks that 110 and it stays below and the market is weak, could get some selling pressure, has room to 108, 106 support. And now GME, and it reported earnings, that's why I was watching it today, said that there's a bear flag on the daily. If it can't hold 80 to 78, could get some selling pressure. Also, the 52-week low is at 77.58. If it clears pre-market high, it does have room to 86, 89 resistance. Not able to hold up off the open and it breaks pre-market low and stays below, it has room to 75, 70 support. So now let's get into the first trade, which is going to be a long on Tesla. So clearly above VWAP, the 9 EMA, pulled back a little bit. Nice consolidation. I'm going for the new high a day. So I end up going long when it starts to speed up a little bit. I end up taking the 885 calls, 5 of them, and I got filled at $8.65. I ended up getting a nice move in my favor. I was trying to hold a winner probably a little bit longer than I normally do. It started to pull back a little bit, and just so that way this didn't pull back more than I thought it was going to, I did not want to let this turn into a loser. It came right back to my entry price, so I ended up getting out of those contracts at $8.75 for a small win. And the next trade is going to be a long on GME, so very clearly caught momentum, forming a quick flag. I end up going long 300 shares because the options were pretty wide, and I got filled at 92.13, expecting there to be upside follow through. Got a quick move in my favor, came into 94, a little bit of resistance, started to pull back, so I took quick profits and I sold those shares at $93.14 for a nice win. And here's the third trade on Tesla, so very clearly caught momentum, just trying to scalp that momentum. That red candle there forming a very quick flag. I wanted to anticipate the new high, possible more follow through, so I went long the 895 calls, 5 of them, and I got filled at $8.95. Took a few minutes to finally follow through, but clear strength, just listening to that trend, tight consolidation, eventually formed that flag, got the follow through I was looking for, and I ended up selling those 895 calls, all 5 of them, at $10.65 for a really nice win. So now let's go check out the P&L. Ended up making $850 on the 895 calls, $301 on GME, and then $50 on the 885s to be up $12.01. Pretty happy with those trades, and overall, I feel like I executed well. So that was the trade recap. Appreciate you watching the video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I just wanted to highlight a couple cool things I have to offer. The first is going to be my newsletter watch list. This is going to be what I post on my private Twitter 30 minutes before market open every day. And what I'm doing is I'm doing a very quick highlight of the SPY, the Qs, the bigger picture, the upside level that I'm looking at, the downside level that I'm looking at, the market news or the catalyst that day. And then I'm going to list 4 to 6 names that I'm watching, my favorites that day, and then the catalyst behind them if there's any news, the bigger picture idea, what's going on the daily chart, and then the levels to the upside and the downside. And then I add some mental notes at the bottom, kind of what I'm thinking that day, make sure to keep my expectations in check and follow my process. And the second thing is going to be a one-on-one call. So if you want something that's less of a commitment and you just want to talk to me about my process and how I approach the market, this is going to be great. It's a one-on-one live call for 1 hour. So if you're interested in any one of these 2 things, there will be links in the description below. Feel free to check them out.